will be comparing artwork that was created for a patron versus artwork that was created by subjective vision of the artist. Artworks we're comparing are Jean-Honoré Fragonard's The Fountain of Love, that was created in about 1785. It's an oil on canvas and it stands about 25 and a quarter inch by 20 and 3/4 inches. And it sits in the J. Paul Getty Museum. Then we have Elizabeth Louise Vigée Lebrun's self-portrait with her daughter Julie. It was created in 1789. It's an oil on canvas and stands at about 4 1/4 feet high and 3 feet wide, and it sits in the Musée du Louvre. Elizabeth Louise Vigée Lebrun was the daughter of a portrait painter and art teacher. She was the most celebrated woman artist of her time, and she began painting at a young age. By 15, she was supporting her family by selling her art. By 20, was a successful portrait artist, and by 25, was the official portrait artist of Queen Marie Antoinette. Jean-Honoré Fragonard was a French Rococo artist, son of an assistant to a haberdasher. At 15 years old, he became an apprentice to a lawyer who saw Fragonard's passion for drawing. In 1756, he won a scholarship to study at the French Academy in Rome. He retained many patrons throughout his career. Elizabeth Lebrun's self-portrait with her daughter was created the same year the French Revolution began in 1789. She paints herself embracing her daughter, who has her head nestled against her mother's chest, just under her chin. This painting is intimate, as you can almost feel Julie's embrace and see the tenderness, love, and pleasure in Elizabeth's eyes. The way their bodies are positioned, they create a single shape as though they're merged together as one. This reflects the bond between a mother and a daughter. Vigée is dressed in a white dress like the ancient Greek, that shows the naturalness of how the nobles dressed of that time, which contrasted to how the nobles dressed in France when this painting was created. Her curls are also a little unruly, which was a nod to the politics at the time and how unstable they were. Jean-Honoré Fragonard's The Fountain of Love was created from 1732 to 1806. There is the Fountain of Love where the putti are playing in its water and a couple is rushing forward, their feet barely touching the edge of the fountain. This one puto offers the lovers a cup of water from the fountain for them to drink from. This reflects the allegory of that garden of love, the story of the nature and progress of love, and how it's saturated with the thrilling rush of those first beguiling moments of love. There are two versions, but this painting has more of a soft and steamy atmosphere. Comparing the two paintings, both Vigée Lebrun and Fragonard had many customers, but there's a difference in their paintings. Because Vigée was a portrait artist, she painted what she saw or what her customers wanted to see in themselves, which meant there wasn't much room for her own interpretation in her art. Although her self-portrait with her daughter was for herself and her family, it still reflected what was happening in the outside world and its unstable politics. Fragonard's painting was characterized as personal and unrestrained, giving the impression that he painted this purely for his own enjoyment. Both artists captured complex and deep emotions, but reflected more of what patrons look for in their commission art, and the other showed a subjective vision of the artist.